Hello, Libra, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of March 8th through the 14th as we get through winter and approach spring. I'm very excited about it because I really like summer, so it's on the way. If you're also in this wintry environment, then I'm sure you're with me. It's been so cold this year. We're done. And if you're in a warmer environment, just know that the rest of us are a little jealous of you. So please take advantage of that. Anyway, during this week, we will have a few different moon energies. We bring in that waning gibbous energy from last week after the full moon and the eclipse, and just really energetic week last week, a little crazy. So we calm it down a little bit with this waning gibbous, a good time of self-reflection and rebirth, a time to get rid of our bad habits and negative thinking. We also have the last quarter energy, which happens on the 11th or the 12th, depending on where you are. And that is also, it's kind of that time when we're kind of realizing those things that we started during the new moon, like projects are kind of coming to an end. We're seeing where we've succeeded, where we failed, what adjustments we need to make as we approach the new moon. And then we have the waning crescent, which is again stable, calm, and it's time to be growth oriented. And we're going to self-reflect again on where we are right now and what changes we might like to make when the new moon comes up. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Libra. So, as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is surrender to the divine. You are the second reading I've had with that card. Of course, now I can't remember if it was Cancer, Gemini, somebody else had that card at the beginning of their reading. So anyway, as I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder this week for you is to definitely get out in nature. See if you can get out this week. All this self-reflective moon energy that we have, doing that in nature is just a very nice way to do it. Taking a walk, enjoying a beautiful view, a beautiful sunset, maybe listening to some water if you're, near somewhere where there's a stream, or even the ocean. If you're lucky enough to be near the ocean, that's very self-reflective to just stare at the ocean and listen to that water lapping the shoreline. So just take some time wherever you are and get out in nature a little bit this week so that you can do some of that self-reflecting with just those sounds of nature around you. Put down those electronics and just quietly commune with nature. That's my fun weekly reminder for you. All right, let's get into this reading. Libra, March 8th through the 14th, surrender to the divine. All right, your present energy right now is the Six of Cups. So something about your energy right now is being, a little maybe reflective of your past, your youth. This might just be where your mind is as you're reflecting, and could be things that you're working on, might have something to do with your past, with some things from your youth, people from your past. But that's just kind of the energy that you're in right now, is that a little bit of nostalgia, I guess, creeping in. Your current situation is the Queen of Swords. So you're also in a place where you're really understanding logically why things are happening in your life in a very logical way. You're not being super emotional about it, but it just, things are seeming very logical, and you're very very apt to say exactly what's on your mind this week. Which may not be exactly a Libra trait, but it is for you this week. You're very, thing comes to mind, you're going to say it. At the root of your situation this week is you're kind of exploring some things in your future here. So you might be thinking about where you're headed. Of course, again, we're in this self-reflective time with this moon. The eclipse energy and the full moon of last week was just a crazy week. A lot of things going on. I mean, I know for me, just in the public sphere and the private sphere, I mean, just things there. It was a lot last week. So it's good for us to have this calm week to kind of do this self-reflecting, but you're definitely exploring something in your future, and it could have something to, and then maybe that's why you're reflecting back on your past and kind of just doing that evaluation, which is very normal for the energies that we're encountering right now. So in your recent past, is there something that you have just wrapped up with this Ten of Swords, something that you are done with? And it could just be that you're just done thinking about it, you're done messing with it, you're just done having it on your mind. because it is that sword air energy, but something that you've recently wrapped up, which is leading you into these changes and moving towards the future. Look, I'm done with that. And of course, anytime we have an ending, it just opens up that little bit of space for us to have a new beginning and a new thing kind of fill in the void where that was taking up some of our time. On your mind this week is a little bit of anxiety, I guess, as maybe, and it could be from this wrap up, could just be kind of the lingering effects. Sometimes when something ends, you're thinking, oh, am I making the right decisions? You've got those kind of anxieties, just kind of questioning yourself. Again, what you need to do with this is surrender to the divine. There's something going on that maybe you don't even exactly understand, things that are happening behind the scenes. I'm just picking up on that there's things going on that are changes that are going to be positive eventually. Right now it may just seem a little bit chaotic, but take a big deep breath. I'm feeling this anxiety for you as I do this reading. So just relax and let some of this go. Just give some of this to the divine and just try to relax through it, because we don't know what's on the other side, right? What is just ahead of you this week is like the Hanged Man. So something comes out of this, which is some sort of new perspective. It's you looking at the world around you in a different way. It's looking at your life in a different way. It's looking at your future in a different way. So you're definitely having a perspective change through all of this and through maybe some of these anxious moments and these sleepless nights that you're having. So it's not all for naught. It looks like there is a reward coming your way with this Hanged Man, this new perspective. Again, it's about how you want to move into the future. It might just be a little bit of fear that you have. So let's just take a breath again, get through that anxiety, try to surrender some of that. We can't control everything. Let some things happen, and we'll just kind of see where things land. In your advice position here is the Knight of Pentacles. So there may be some action here for you. Our knights are our cards of action. We're doing things, and in this case, Pentacles, this could be action on your job front. This could be action, something having to do with money, or something having to do with maybe where you live, something about real material, tangible things. But there's some sort of action on this front. And it could be what you're thinking about as you're moving forward. There may be some sort of, you might be looking for a new place to live. You might be considering a new job or a change within the job that you're in right now. But there's some sort of action, and maybe that's why you're a little bit anxious. It's like, this new thing, and you've taken this new leap into the future, this new step into the future. And of course it's the change is definitely it comes with anxiety sometimes. So relax through it. Let's just get through it each day, just one step at a time, right? What is beyond your control this week is, look, relax. You're going to be happy. You've got we've got 2 10s on the table also. So it's beyond your control, I think, to get through this anxiety. Again, surrender to the divine. Let what happens happens. And I think there's going to be a time, maybe even later in your week, when you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be fine. Like, you're just going to be able to tell yourself that. You're just going to have that feeling. It's going to come to you. And I think it's beyond your control. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Well, there's another 10. Another 10 is that pushing through to end this one thing so that you have room for this new beginning. And now we've got 2. If it's something you've recently stopped thinking about, and now it's almost like that push about that passionate push, like, I'm done, and I mean it. It's almost like, just like an exclamation point to this ending here, that you really are. And actually we have 3 10s on the table, so lots of that ending, and also opening up for new beginnings, which that's what endings bring for us. So also look up angel number 10, see if that means anything for you. Let's look at your outcome position here. Is that, well, talk about an ending. There's the ultimate ending, is just the Death card. There is something that you are definitely letting go. Again, surrender to the divine. You're letting it go to make space for new things, for this new perspective, for new things coming in. And this is like, it's like the logical next step. So are you letting go of something from your past? You're not going to think about it. You're not going to let it drive you anymore. And you're just kind of, that's kind of like the nail in the coffin, literally, that you're just done thinking about it. But look, it's beyond your control to be happy once you get through all this, because it's going to change your future. You're really thinking about the future here. Let me move this down here so you can see that card. So it's really about changing your future and moving forward and being able to explore once you're free of whatever this ending is for you. Let's see what's hidden from you, Libra. At the bottom of the deck is the 2 of Cups. So this is a coming together in partnership and friendship, and you might not quite be there this week just to even discuss this with a friend. This is hidden from you. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe next week you maybe share this with a friend, or you open up to someone about this and say, hey, I've just been through this ending. It's the stressful thing that's been going on. It's keeping me up at night. You don't really have that kind of support this week. It's kind of you against the world this week, but I feel like next week there's going to be people entering that are able to just kind of just be there as a sounding board for you, which is really nice. So look for that next week. I would imagine in your reading next week we're going to see more of an interaction where it's like it's you against the world this week. Next week you're going to let some other people in to kind of, even if they're not really just helping you, just there to listen to you, I guess. All right, let's see what this wrap up card for you. Let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Libra, March 8th through the 14th. Libra, March 8th. Forgive and forget. Wow, that's interesting. I don't even think I've ever seen that card. Is this something from your past? Again, forgive, forget, have this new perspective, be done with it and move on. Are you working out something there from your past? Like I said, that you do need to forgive, and it's holding you back. If and it's that forgiveness. Sometimes you just and it can hold you back. Just that thought, the fact that it's hanging over you. And by forgiveness, you don't even need to communicate that to anybody. That's something you do within your own heart. So just do that, let it go, and let's see how your the next phase of your life here opens up, even if it's just the next few weeks, to explore that future on just a more level-headed, clear, and less anxiety-ridden ground. So, all right, Libra, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care for the week. Self-care for Libra as they do a big let go this week. All right, the card for you is change course. Like the little keys hanging in the trees there. A closed door is an invitation from life to move in an even better direction. It's time to change course. Wow, forgive and forget. It's time to change course so that you can move into a better direction right there at the root of this. I do feel like it's something from your past. You need to let go of it. You need to change course. You need to forgive and forget. Again, surrender to the divine. Just be done with this, whatever it is. So, Libra, I wish you all the luck with this. If you are comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know, what kind of ending, what thing are you letting go of and having to forgive about? If if you want to share that, awesome. If not, if you have questions about this reading, I'd be happy to answer this for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe lets me know that and kind of pushes me out in the algorithm, which is something I really appreciate. So thanks so much for being here, Libra. Good luck with all of this, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.